Hi, in this video I'm going to be talking about the differences between the Peloton Bike and the new Peloton Plus, and hopefully I can help you decide which one you should be buying. Also, if you've got a Peloton like I have, should you just hang on to this or should you upgrade it to the new one? Let's get cracking. So first, I want to talk about the difference in price, because that's going to be a huge factor for people. And then I'll talk about the differences in the bikes, and then I'll tell you what I think, and then hopefully you can decide what's best for you. Let's start with the pricing. When we look at the cost of the normal bike, the kind of bike they've been selling for a few years now, we can see it's $17.50, and they're advertising it at $17.50 on the TV and on their websites, etc. And this is kind of broadly the same if you're in euros or dollars. Most people, I think, will probably go for the essentials, which includes a pair of shoes, some weights, and some headphones. So I would say the headphones, you're probably better off using your own headphones. The weights, you can pick up cheap weights. These are only probably 2, 3 or 4 kilo weights. We have 2 kilo weights. I mean, I would probably look elsewhere for them. I really do like these Peloton shoes. Again, on Amazon, you can get shoes that will work the Peloton for about £50. So that's $17.50. I don't know, for about $18.50, you could probably source these items separately. So I think this isn't too bad, although you will never use those headphones ever again. I wouldn't bother with the One Up, which is a heart rate monitor and a mat. You just get a cheap bike mat and a heart rate monitor. If you've got a smartwatch, I mean, you're not going to use this. You can just use your smartwatch. If you're a couple or family, as they call it, I wouldn't do this. just do the essentials one and then buy another pair of shoes. You don't need 2 rubbish headphones and 2 very average heart monitors. So most people will go for the essentials pack. So that's $18.95. So let's call it £1,900. So let's look at the essentials on the Plus. So instead of £1,900, it's £2,500. So that's £600 more. You don't get rubbish headphones this, you do get a mat. So there is a little bit of a difference, but there is a £600 price difference. And let's look at that. I've got a percentage calculator here. So if we look at $18.95 to $2,495, you can see that that's 32% more expensive. So the Peloton Plus Essentials pack is a third more than the normal bike pack. It does say plus strength, which I'll talk about in a minute. It's kind of slightly misleading, I would say that, but we'll talk about that shortly. So bearing in mind it's nearly a third more, is it worth a third more money? So there are some subtle differences which I'll just quickly go through. So if you look at the red knob here, on my bike it's mechanical. So that means when I twist it, it actually, there's like a magnet that's on the wheel and it just goes in and out like that. It's very easy to twist. The one on the Bike Plus is electronic. So it's, well, if mine's very easy to twist, this must be really easy to twist. So that's one difference there. When you're adjusting the seat height on mine, there's a lever, whereas on the Bike Plus there's a knob. I think this is probably easier to use. That's fine to use. This bike, the standard Peloton bike, has got terrible speakers. There's no question of a doubt. I've talked about this before. They remind me of an old Fiesta. Actually, the Fiesta speakers were better. If you're old enough to know what a mini Metro is, that's what the speakers are like on this. They're shocking. For £1,800 or £1,900, they're shocking. So it's kind of irrelevant though, because most of us, if you're like me, you'll be using headphones. When you turn this up, it's loud with the speakers and it sounds terrible because they're poor quality speakers. But when you've got your headphones in, they sound brilliant. Nobody in your house is going to thank you for using that without speakers on, so without headphones on. So you're just going to use your headphones really. The other thing the Bike Plus has got is it's got a better camera and a better microphone. So when you set up the bike, I just imported a picture from Facebook of me and that was my picture. You can get the bike to take a picture of you. The one on here will be a blurry mess, so don't use that. And also if you're in a ride and say you've got a friend in a ride, you can click on their profile and you can have a little chat to them while you're cycling. So they come up in the corner of your screen, you can see them, they're a sweaty mess, the camera's like this, so they're all chins. They can see you, you'll be all chins too and a sweaty mess, and you can barely hear each other because the microphone's not that good and you'll be shouting at each other. I've done this with a friend once. I think even if it was crystal clear, I probably wouldn't do it again. So, I mean, unless you feel like you're going to be chatting to friends whilst doing your workouts, the better microphone and the better camera is a little bit irrelevant, or at least not worth the extra money. So the Bike Plus has an Apple Gym kit, and what that means is you press your Apple Watch against the front of the bike before you start cycling, and it syncs the data directly to your watch. This is a good feature in a gym, for instance, when you're pulling the data off, say, a runner, for instance. But because your Peloton works out are stored in the Peloton app, so if you burn, say, 300 calories on a workout and cycle for 15 kilometers, the app, the bike and the app know you've done that, and that automatically syncs with the activity on your watch anyway. So I can't see why that's a huge benefit to be able to tap your watch against the screen when you're going to get that data straight to your watch and your phone anyway. Now, occasionally you look at your ring on your watch and you think, oh, I've not done much exercise today. And sometimes you have to open the app for it to then pull the data across to your watch, which I don't mind, but I mean, I don't think that function is worth the extra money for the Bike Plus. So one thing you can see on my bike is this huge cable that comes out the front and it comes down. I mean, it does look a bit amateurish, I think, for such a quality product to have the wires externally on the bike like that. I mean, they don't get in the way, but I mean, it doesn't look as good as I think it should do. The Bike Plus, the wires are all in the frame, so that does look a lot better. Let's look at some of the big changes. So one of the biggest changes is the way the screen moves. So I'll demonstrate with this iPad. So my screen goes like that. So when you're riding, you can swivel it like that. With the Peloton Plus, you can also go that way and that way. If, for instance, you're doing a workout on the floor, you can turn it and face it down, which is quite a big deal if you're going to be working out from your bike. And I'll explain why you probably may not be in a moment. If you've got this bike already, you can buy an attachment which makes this screen do the same thing. So rather than just going like that, it will go like that and tilt down. So in the description of this video, I will link to another video by Electrifying Chris, who does some really good Peloton videos, and he talks you through this device and he shows you where to buy it from. So one thing I'd like to add is if you do buy a Peloton, I'll put my referral code in the description. If you use my referral code, we'll both get £100, euros or dollars, depending where you are, to spend in the Peloton apparel shop. So I love this. I really like my Fila stroke Peloton zip through. I've got shorts. These are by Lululemon through the Peloton shop. I've never heard of Lululemon. Apparently they're quite expensive. My wife loves them. I've got t-shirts for working out. Got a hoodie, which is really warm. And I use my water bottle regularly. So don't just buy the bike, try and get a referral code, and that will give you kind of £100 to spend in the shop, which is, you can almost consider it, say, £100 less for the bike maybe. Besides the cycling, I do quite a lot of meditation, yoga, and also strength workouts. Would a tilting screen be beneficial for me for those workouts and for you if you do those workouts? I mean, I'd say possibly not. Let me show you why. So firstly, with the meditation, I mean, that's just headphones in and through the app on your phone. Let's look at some yoga. And when I do yoga, well, that's mostly in front of the TV in my living room because it's a good place to work out. There's plenty of space. Now, I don't know what she's doing. And the other thing to consider is this screen is quite low off the floor. Whereas with the Peloton screen, even when it's tilted, I think if you're doing a floor workout, you're going to be kind of perhaps straining your neck a little bit looking up at that screen. And if I'm doing a weights workout, there's my weights in the garage. I've got an old TV out here and I'll just use that TV for the Peloton strength classes. And that's why I think it's a little bit naughty for Peloton to call the Peloton Bike Plus bike the Peloton Plus bike and strength. Because you don't need the Peloton Plus bike to do the strength. The strength's within the app. You can either play it on there if you're okay with that angle, or you can do what nearly everyone else does, use a tablet, screencast from your Apple or your Android, an Amazon Fire TV stick. There are loads of ways to stream your Peloton workouts to another device, another TV for instance. So another big feature on the new bike is auto follow. So when you're riding on the bike, the instructor will say, set your resistance to say 40, and then start cycling. This is called your cadence at about 100. And when you set your cadence is just you pedaling, it's you turning the pedals, but the resistance is by the red knob there. So on the screen, you'll turn the knob and it will show you on the screen where you are. So if the instructor says set the resistance to 50, you'll turn your knob and it'll get to 50. I've talked about this before. There is a thing on the Peloton, all the instructors say it, where they say put your hand between your legs and twist your knob. I just find that hilarious. I know I'm 46 years old, I'm not 7, but I just find it hilarious. Anyway. So you'll turn your, I can't call it knob now, I've got to call it something else. You'll turn your red thing and just follow the workout. So with the auto follow function, it kind of follows the workout for you. So when the instructor changes the resistance, the bike will automatically change the resistance. This is a nice feature, I think. However, if you're like me or like a lot of people I know, you're not always in the resistance that the instructor calls. And by that I mean, if there's a climb ride and the instructor calls 60 resistance, I'm very comfortable climbing at 70. However, if she says, or he says, your resistance is 40 and I want your cadence at 110, I can't do that. I need to bring that resistance down for me to get to that cadence level. So I think it's a nice feature. It's a progression, maybe, but I kind of don't feel it's kind of needed. Okay, next is screen size and resolution of the screen. So the screen size on this is 21.5 inches. Because you're kind of, so when I'm on the bike, I'm kind of here. So if that gives you an idea of the screen, this screen is plenty big enough. The Bike Plus screen is 10% bigger, but I've never felt that I wanted this screen any bigger. I mean, if it was bigger, I wouldn't complain, but I've never kind of felt it needed to be bigger. One thing that I would like though, let's just turn the sound down here, is the screen resolution. So this screen is 1080p, which is, let's see if I can get this focused. So this is quite good quality. It's not amazing quality. 1080p is HD basically. I mean, the new bike, the Bike Plus, has got the same resolution as this bike. So it's good, it's not amazing. I think for the price, if that's 1080p or HD, then that should be, the Bike Plus should be 4K. That's plenty good enough. I mean, I personally would like it a bit better. I think this bike is fantastic and the Peloton Plus bike will be fantastic. One of the things that lets it down is the screen quality. I mean, I don't want to go on about it like it's a bad thing because it is good. It's just, I mean, I would just like a little bit more sharpness. Well, I hope you're enjoying this video, and if you are, please help me by hitting the like button. And if you're not a subscriber and you've got an interest in the Peloton, then please hit the subscribe button. I've got new Peloton videos coming out regularly. My channel's about electric vehicles, so that's most of the content. If you've not got an electric vehicle and you've got a slight interest, then they are the future. We've got 9, but that's for another story. Then please subscribe to the channel as well. So, in conclusion, which one should you buy? The one that's £1,900 or the one that's £2,500? It's a tricky one, isn't it? You'll also need to factor in, especially if you're financing the bike, the normal bike is going to be about £45 a month, plus you've got a £40 a month subscription. The Bike Plus is going to be, according to Peloton website, about £60 a month, plus your £100 plus your £40 subscription. If you're like me and you're only going to be using that for cycling, as in getting a sweat on, improving your health, trying to keep the wine off, trying to keep the weight off or lose a bit of weight, then this is going to fulfill all of your needs and more. So I've done nearly 200 rides on this bike. It's as good as the day I bought it. My wife and my daughter also ride it. It's a very good bike. I don't feel like I need any more. I don't think that the Bike Plus is going to be enough of an improvement to make me want to get rid of this. If you like everything to be up to date and you want the best you can possibly get because you're going to keep it for 10 years, then maybe it's worth making that extra investment for the Bike Plus. I think it's probably going to be a bit more future-proof. If you're not in a hurry to buy your bike, then maybe wait, because they do have sales on Peloton. So this fluctuates between about, well, before it was like $17.50, which is a new price. It kind of fluctuated between about $17.50 and about £2,100. So buying a Bike Plus when they first come out perhaps isn't the best time to buy one. It's certainly a great time to buy this. But I mean, if I was starting again, if I didn't have either, I would probably buy the Bike Plus just because I'm me. But for the vast majority of people, if you're able to do the floor workouts and the strength workouts without tilting, in a different place, or you want to just buy the extension, which kind of makes that screen tilt, this is all you're going to need. Well, I hope you found this video useful. Peloton is fantastic. Whichever bike you buy, you'll be very happy. Your wallet will be certainly happier with a standard bike. Anyway, I've gone on enough. I'll put some more videos around me. I'll put a Peloton playlist around me as well. Until next time, see you soon.